Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, today we were talking about the book of the Philippians, which was of course written by the Apostle Paul. Goodness gracious, it seems like most of the New Testament is written by the Apostle Paul, because, well, it was. And of course the book of the Philippians is a letter to the Philippians, and it is primarily focused on just displaying to the Philippians the true joy, the truest joy, the purest joy you can find is in Christ Jesus. So there is your premise. Now let's talk about whether or not I was a fan of the book of Philippians, or not. I really liked the book of Philippians. It was extraordinarily short, and I didn't have any conflicts in the book of Philippians. There were no really particularly challenging passages, no passages that really convicted me or made me question my own moral compass. It was overall just pretty much like purely good. Nothing that really stumped me or made me go, wait, why is this in the Bible? And even though the Philippians is an extremely short book of the Bible, I did decide to go ahead and mark a couple passages that I think are really compelling, really powerful, really good. And so without further ado, let's now get into the actual analysis part of this review and analysis of the book of Philippians. First passage I would like to talk about is Philippians chapter 2, verses 3 through 5. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourselves. Each of you should look not only to your own interests, but also to the interest of others. Your attitude should be the same as that of Jesus Christ. Now, humility is a virtue that I think is extremely underrated in the grand scheme of life. But it's clear here that the Bible does not underrate it. It's just this little passage here, I think, is just a great passage to live by. In humility, consider others better than yourselves. Each of you should look not only to your own interests, but also to the interests of others. That is a life-changing sort of thing. And in truth, like when you're really humble, and I'm not saying that I'm super humble, but I have experienced times in my life where I have not even been thinking about myself at all, or have been entirely devoted to helping someone else, and it's just better. It's just better than being kept to yourself and not ever reaching out to anyone, trying to help anyone. This next passage is Philippians chapter 4, verses 4 through 9. Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be made evident to all. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and petition with thanksgiving present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put into practice. And the God of peace will be with you. Enough said. Next passage I want to go over is Philippians chapter 4, verses 10 through 13. I rejoice greatly in the Lord that at last you have renewed your concern for me. Indeed, you have been concerned, but you had no opportunity to show it. I am not saying this because I am in need, for I have learned to be content whatever the circumstances. I know what it is to be in need, and I know what it is to have plenty. I have learned the secret of being content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do everything through him who strengthens me. Now, Philippians 4:13, people always, cite as, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and that is, that's just in a different translation. Now, one of the things I found very fascinating about this passage is, it just is a great example of the humility and the willpower that Paul has, because as I understand it, Paul was, he'd been imprisoned during all this time and experienced all this persecution, and yet to have this perspective, to be content in any and every situation, whether well-fed or hungry, whether living in plenty or in want. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. It's just beautiful. I don't have that strength right now. At least maybe I do, but I don't know that I have that, because I have not experienced the persecution and imprisonment that Paul was facing during these times. I haven't been in such a horrible situation, and yet he's content here, and I don't know how I'd react to being persecuted like that. But I would hope that I would find the faith that he clearly seems to have here, so that I could be content and deal with my circumstances accordingly. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, those are my thoughts on the book of the Philippians. I would highly recommend it. It's a really good book, a very short book. Check it out. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, have you read the book of Philippians? If so, please comment below and tell me what you thought of it. And as always, if you like this video, please like it and subscribe. Tell your friends about the channel. And never forget to